cameras are working. This is a miracle. Sorry about that. That's just the way I look
That's all right.
when I wake up. Uh, what's
Well,
going on?
welcome to the world. You're waking up. It's a great day.
Yeah, I got a 5-year-old and she's like up at 6.
I know.
And
Ruby, I know her.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
she's a lot of fun. Okay,
let's
how you
do
doing?
it. I'm doing great. Years ago, I interviewed you, and it was right around the time with the Heroin Diaries, and
Okay.
it was 6 a.m. And I asked you this question: if you could change anything in your life, would you ever go back and change your life and your story? And your answer to me was no, not a single thing. You wouldn't change a thing. Do you still feel
I
the
mean,
same way?
if I could change maybe some of the stuff that happened uh, around when I was super young, like, my mom and dad separating and traveling all over the place. But at the same time, even though that made me kind of I later and was able to work it out in songwriting, even
Mm.
songs like Primal Scream, working out some of that stuff. But that's the stuff that actually kind of defined you too. So, you know, would I change it? I guess I have a pretty vanilla, boring life, but I might not have been in so much hell. So, yeah,
It's funny you say that because I'm from California. You were in LA and I was in San Francisco, and I tell my stories with these guys on the radio and they think I'm lying. I was a latchkey kid and I did things that I just can't believe that we were doing during those times at such a young age. And I was looking at the sheet that you guys gave me, and Dr. Feelgood is what, 35 years old? And it's a
yeah,
big deal that, I mean,
yeah,
just the tracks off that album. I can't remember, in the past, because you and I are a
yeah,
little around, you're a little older than I am, but around that same age, we were doing the same things.
yeah,
Well, me in San Francisco and you were in LA. It was just a
yeah.
different time than people are these days. And here you are, you're still rocking. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think back, like, to go back to the Dr. Feelgood album, before we made the Dr. Feelgood album, the band had gone started this journey on sobriety, and coming from a band that that didn't even seem like something in the cards for us, and everything aligned, and it exploded our creativity. I mean, I used to wake up every day and write like a song, complete song from top to bottom. And I just had these notepads, you know, 99% of them just go out the window and the lyrics get thrown in the trash. But it's the point of like just being open, having a beginner's mindset and just being open to whatever's coming in. And all that music started coming in. And then we got together in rehearsal. We started collaborating. And then we did the demos, which me and Tommy would usually produce in a studio out in the valley called Cornerstone. We just went in, we demoed all those songs with the idea of let's record everything that we like. We don't even have to love it. And let's get it down. Let's do what we do as a band. No producer, no record company, no management, no input, but from ourselves on this new kind of a journey that we were on. And the magic was there. I don't really think we knew it was magic. We were just trying to get our ideas out and get them on tape and get like a pretty good rough mix of it so we could look at some new producers. We had decided that we wanted to move on from Tom Werman, who had done Theater Pain and Girls, 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 and Shout at the Devil. And we were just looking for a new, fresh approach. And that's when we found Bob Rock. And then the recording of the record in Vancouver, that was an amazing time. And then now we're talking about the 35th
Yeah.
anniversary. So I have nothing but great memories of that album and the lead up to that album.
And how does it make you feel when you play Kickstart My Heart? Do you just it probably doesn't bother you to these days, but I mean it may have kind of
It's a
made
positive, it's a positive song, it's about Phoenix rising in all of us, and adrenaline and the energy that you can get out of life and giving 100%, going for it, going for the throat, so to speak. When we play that song live, the audience and the band feels the same thing, just this explosion of energy. It's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. We just played a couple shows up in Canada, and one show there was 80,000 and one there was 60,000, and there were girls on top of guys' shoulders like in the old days, and
Yes.
holding up signs and take me backstage. And then like 10 people over, there's like an 8-year-old like holding up, my favorite song is, Home Sweet Home. It goes to show you that, music in general, not just rock and roll, but music in general, it has its ebb and flow. It has its hills and valleys. If you stick around long enough, you continuously kind of get rediscovered, and then that reinvigorates the band.
Yeah,
For sure.
and with 6 a.m. And I remember when you were here, DJ, I don't remember what concert it was, but I didn't get to see you, but DJ, I talked to him and he wanted me to get him a burrito. And
He wanted to get you on the radio?
no,
He wanted to
when
get
I
on
was at Bon Secours Wellness Arena, he was looking for a burrito. I
Oh,
thought
a burrito. Yeah.
he was
Awesome.
hungry.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
I know, you're hungry and nobody will feed you. It was hysterical. And I said, I will tell your people.
That's hilarious.
But
Hilarious.
but you know what? And then I read a lot about you, and then I was hearing that you got John Five, and man, what a great guitarist, and his history with Rob Zombie, Manson, and you're in the studio with Bob Rock again. So how was it getting with him and recording new stuff? How did that feel? Now, do you work in the studio together? Are you doing tracks separately, or how is that working for you?
One of the things that we like to do is to not have any pressure so that the creativity can be as honest as possible. And that doesn't mean it's going to be a great song, by the way. That doesn't mean it could be a great lyric. That doesn't mean anything. It just means back off, let us do our thing, and then everybody can kind of digest it together, including producers, a record company, and such. So we did the same thing. We were faced with a horrible situation. I mean, I've said this a number of times. Here we're faced with a band member leaving the band, and had committed to a large number of live performances, and we all have families and mortgages and car payments. So when a member leaves in the middle of something like that, not only is it emotionally something for us, we're like, wow, this Mick's been with us, some version or other, for over 40 years. So the question was, with ourselves, do we cancel the tour? Do we pull off the road? Do we let Def Leppard down? Because they were our partners for all those stadium shows, including Europe and all through Asia and Australia. So we're going to do that to Def Leppard. That's not cool. Are we going to do it to Live Nation that took a chance on us and got us to come out of retirement and do these stadium tours, and now we're just going to bail on them?
And
we're going to do that to our
go out on that tour and get physically fit so you can stand.
And family members. We're going to do that. So we had to make a decision, which was to carry on. We had to carry on. And it was the right thing to do for the fans.
Yeah.
And of course, people want to be like, oh, it's over. I mean, well, that version of it is over. That version of Motley Crue is not the same. It's not going to be the same. And I've known John for about 15 years, and I brought him in on a lot of songs and projects I've done, including, Meatloaf and 6 a.m. and other stuff. And we've been friends, and it just seemed like the right fit. And he had helped me write a bunch of songs for The Dirt. I was basically, me and John were just hanging out, and I said, you want to come over to the house? I'm working some songs for possibly to show the band for the movie. And he came over, and it was just like so easy to write and create together. And he's really good at taking direction. He's really good at taking direction and reinventing it and feeding it back. So that's like that ebb and flow thing. And we got the songs down, and we kind of demoed them up with a guy named Sahaj Tikatone, and a great producer, and then showed them to Bob and the band, and they loved a bunch of them. We went into a little bit of rewriting, and we went in the studio, and that was the beginning of knowing that John was just an easy guy to work with and could come to the table. So when Nick decided to leave and we were in the middle of a stadium tour, it made sense.
Yeah. And we're playing Dogs of War, and I watched the video, and you fall off the roof and John has half of them. He has half of John in the video. So who are the bastards when you're singing? Who are the bastards in that song?
I was watching the song. We were in demo mode, and the song was that you're hearing was pretty close to what you're hearing now. When we got in the studio with Bob Rock, there was obviously some sonic changes and some arrangement change and dynamic changes. But I went home and I didn't have a lyric idea for it. The song kind of came musically, and then there really wasn't even a melody or anything. We were just kind of going with it. And I was watching a show called The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, what
and there's a line. It's a great show, and then there's this line where this handmaid is having this affair with this very powerful general, and she looks at a Bible that's in Latin, and she goes, "What does this say?" And he goes, "Don't let the bastards grind you down." And it's a Latin, it's a very famous Latin saying. And it was him being at the top saying, don't let people tear you down. Don't let them kill the king. Don't let them destroy the kingdom. And it's like an underdog song. It's like a fight song. And it just really fit for us. And I wrote all the lyrics, kind of right there, right on the spot, which I do a lot of times, stream of consciousness. And then the band can look at it and go, this is a bunch of rubbish, or this is really great, or it's halfway there. But I don't edit myself. And then I showed it to the band. They were like, oh, this is really cool. We started put the melodies together. And so the bastards, anybody wants to hold you down, fuck you up. And fuck them.
Out today. Nikki Sixx, thank you so much for joining me. I can talk to you forever, and I love How To Girl on Instagram.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll see
you. I appreciate it.
When you come to Greenville. Thank you so much.
Yeah. See you soon.